And a very good Saturday morning, afternoon, evening to you. This is Whenever Saturday. I am your host, Andy Pollack. Whenever Saturday is brought to you by our sponsor, Proton VPN. Now, we talk about how expensive WWE can be. You know, you have to pay for Netflix, pay for whatever way to get USA Network, pay for Peacock, pay for the ESPN streaming source. But what if I told you, if you're a cord cutter, there's a cheap way to just pay for Netflix, pay the $7.99 a month, and watch all WWE content available, including NXT on Tuesdays, SmackDown on Fridays, and next week's Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. That is our sponsor, Proton VPN. Now, Proton VPN, the best deal available right now. I can give you this following offer. $71.76 for the 2-year plan right now. It's $2.99 a month. And if you want the monthly plan, it's still the cheapest available, $9.99 a month. You can get up to 10 devices at a time secured on a virtual private network with high speeds, 15,000 servers in 120 countries. Again, what are you doing here? You're only going to be paying, and again, if you really do the math here, and I'm going to put the number up, if you really want to save a lot of money per month, making sure that, a little extra money in my pocket, in total, you'll only be paying, yes, I got the price right here, $18 a month for all WWE content, including tonight. If you lose your VPN here on YouTube, I believe it's on YouTube tonight for Saturday night's main event, you can watch main event on WWE's YouTube channel without paying the ridiculous Peacock prices. So what are you waiting for? Visit ProtonVPN.com. Okay, now, we're going to get into a lot for this week's episode. I'm going to go over my thoughts on the Mets, and wow, have they been busy. I'll also go into my thoughts about the divisional playoff games in the NFL last weekend. We'll talk about the college game between Indiana and Miami, and I will give some thoughts on the Academy Award nominations, and I will predict the 67th annual Grammys, because we're not going to be able to do that next week, because next week there will not be an episode. We are going to do a special video predicting the 2026 WWE Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. So, let's get into my New York Mets. And oh boy, they have been busy, huh? So let's get into the fact that this has been amazing. This has been incredible.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh boy, even Siri's excited. Alright. So Bo Bichette was signed by the Mets. Now, according to this, he got a 3-year, $126 million contract. Now, the stats were interesting last year. So even though he only hit 18 home runs with the Blue Jays, he was second in the American League in batting, .311 average. He had 94 RBIs, but he did hit a home run. I know he did have like a big home run in the World Series against the Dodgers last year. So the Mets addressed their third base problem. All right? Because now there's a rumor going around. Now that this happened, they were going to let Brett Beatty play left field. Okay. Now, and here's the crazy thing. All right. Carson Bench, the Mets might call him up. Carson in the minor leagues, he wasn't that bad. I mean, the good thing about Carson, given that he went through the minor league system, right? Bench actually was hitting. He had .281 average, 15 home runs, 73 RBIs. I guess if the Mets get desperate, they could call him up. In terms of the outfield depth, Beatty again could play left field, right? Tyrone Taylor could play left too, because the Mets figured out what else they could do, right? So the Mets figure, let's trade some prospects away, because now that we got a second baseman, right? We got the guy from Texas, Marcus Semien, who again, we traded Brandon Nimmo to the Texas Rangers. So Brandon Nimmo gets to reunite with Jacob deGrom with the Texas Rangers. So Luis Roberts from the White Sox, right? The Mets acquire him. Now, in the trade, they get rid of their top prospect, Luis Angel Acuna, who's been on the Major League roster for a while. A right-handed pitcher, Truman Pauly, goes to the White Sox. So, let's just go over Luis Roberts' stats, okay? And I want to go into them, alright? So, in terms of the stats, when you look at Luis Roberts, alright? Last year, 223 average, 14 home runs, 53 RBIs. Now, that might not be impressive as much, but I've seen some defensive highlights of this guy. He's pretty good in the outfield. He's made some spectacular catches. Sometimes the stats don't really matter. Sometimes the defense, and this is what David Stearns has been doing. See, he's such a boy genius that now, supposedly, this is our new strategy. We want to improve on defense because maybe Jorge Polanco could provide better first base relief than Pete Alonso could. I don't know, guys. I'm not David Stearns, but maybe he knows a lot more than we do. Because given how quiet the offseason was so far, not re-signing our key guys, you know, And you know, here's something else that's interesting. So, the Mets then after that get a starting pitcher. A reunion. Right? The Mets get Freddy Peralta. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. Last year with the Milwaukee Brewers, he had a great year. 17 wins, 6 losses, 2.70 ERA. And supposedly Freddie wants to re-sign long-term with the Mets. 200 plus strikeouts, by the way. I want to bring that up. Okay? Now, in the trade, the Mets trade away their top pitching prospect, Brandon Williams and Jet Williams. My bad. Jet Williams and Brandon Sprout. So, Williams, all I know is that Sprout was supposed to be a starting pitcher. Right? Yes. In the deal, we got a relief pitcher named Tobias Myers. Right? Jet Williams, the infielder, Brandon Sprout. So both teams benefit from this trade. The Mets now become this team where I'm looking at it right now, and I'm saying to myself, all right, would I give Tyrone Taylor a chance in left field? Yeah. Would I give Carson Wentz a chance in left field? Yeah. Would I give Brett Beatty a chance? You know how I would do this? Spring training. See how they do out there. Have them go out to Port St. Lucie and figure it out. Because Roberts is going to play center. Soto's going to play right. Bichette's playing third. Lindor's at short. Simeon's at second. Polanco was at first. Then Alvarez is hopefully going to be our opening day catcher, right? Because Nolan McLean is obviously going to be our opening day pitcher. I would assume he'll be facing against Paul Skeens and the Pirates. So, I'm telling you right now, as a Met fan, I want to be optimistic for an 85 win. I posted this on my Instagram. I've been saying this is at least an 85 win team that can get you to the playoffs. They are capable of it. Can the bullpen hold up? Let's be patient. I want to give Luke Weaver, I want to give Devin Williams, and I want to give the other guy who we got in the trade, Tobias Myers, a chance. I want to give them a chance. I want to be patient with the bullpen. All right? Because thank goodness, good riddance, Ryan Helsley. Get the hell out of New York. Enjoy your time in Baltimore. Have fun at Camden Yards having Hell's Bells playing the Camden Yards speakers. Oh my goodness. And you know, it's going to be crazy. Opening day in Baltimore, Layla's going to be playing on the Camden Yards speakers. That crushes you as a Mets fan. It has to, right? But again, this is an 85-win team that can get you in the playoffs. The Mets are capable of it. Now, I've said it again. Phillies and Dodgers are going to win 100 games. I think we can enjoy this season because I think there will not be a 2027 season. No matter what happens, the salary cap is going to be the reason why we go into a lockout. Let's get that through our heads. Pitching-wise, I think... I don't know. The rotation could be pretty iffy for the Mets. I'm trying to figure out what would the pitching look like, right? Tong, Senga, Holmes, Manaya, maybe David Peterson. I mean, I don't know. I want to be patient here. I don't want to say, might not be worth, again, we can be an 85-win team. We can make the playoffs. I think it's possible. Because I'm being realistic that, again, this is the Phillies division. The Phillies always find a way to win the division. What else is new? But if this season turns out to be something to watch, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I want to be patient here. So anyhow, let's get into the football. The college game. What can you say about Fernando Mendoza? He was amazing. Especially the diving touchdown late in the game. That was incredible. Now, okay. Carson from Miami. And Beck was okay too. Don't get me wrong. Could I see Carson going into the NFL draft? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Because, Fernando's going to Vegas. Alright? And I want to look at the NFL mock draft for the Jets. I'm looking at Mel Kiper at the moment. I'm just going to look into it. They're saying the Jets might not even take a quarterback. Mel Kiper is suggesting we're going to rebuild the defensive line and pick Arrell Reese from Ohio State. What? I mean, again, they could get a veteran quarterback. I mean, I don't want to get into that right now. I think we'll get more into that in March. I think once we get into March, you'll hear me talk about it. And by the way, did I see something that the Bills are now thinking about bringing in Phillip Rivers to coach the Buffalo Bills? What? I mean, come on. Well, let me tell you, I mean, the game on Monday was incredible in Miami. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. Their first national title in the school's history. Well deserved. They went undefeated this year. And again, Fernando Mendoza is going to have the best story going into the NFL. He's going to go to Vegas. And let me tell you something. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm taking that job in Vegas. I mean, what the hell was Mike McCarthy doing? Wouldn't you want to go to take the Raiders job right now? The Raiders job is promising. They're going to tell you, hey, we're getting Fernando Mendoza. He's our quarterback. Take the job. I don't know why McCarthy is refusing to take the job. Because why would you want to go to Pittsburgh? Remember, the Steelers' job is a joke. And here's the crazy thing. Isn't it crazy? The Ravens get their head coach before the Steelers do. Jesse Minter is returning back to the Ravens. Because remember, he worked for Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is now the Giants coach. Ow. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say on that. So now let's just get into the current state of the NFL. So tomorrow, we find out who goes to the Super Bowl. 4 teams left. Let's just get into the NFL divisional round. Josh Allen cannot get out of his own way. I mean, that play in the second quarter was pretty much the death note of the season. My God. How do you not have ball control to end the first half of the freaking game? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Whatever. And you know, late in the game, Josh Allen got way too pass hungry in that late drive. He could have gotten a touchdown. And that would have been the game for the Bills. No. And let me say this. It's a good thing the Bills made that decision. Sean McDermott. Good thing Sean McDermott got kicked out. Alright? Because it's been every freaking time the Bills cannot get out of their own way. And I hate to say it, but Josh Allen is starting to become the next Dan Marino. A freaking overachiever. He's a great player. He's supposed to win a championship. At least Marino went to a Super Bowl. And he lost it, obviously. Dan Marino did. But, come on. Josh Allen just can't get out of his own way. It's awful. They're cursed. The Buffalo Bills just can't do anything right anymore. I don't know, guys. Is Josh Allen ever going to get to the Super Bowl? I say the same question about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. He's another overachiever. But Lamar always gets freaking hurt. He's like Humpty Dumpty. He can't stay healthy. One day it's his back. One day it's his feet. One day it's his neck. We have to rebuild Lamar Jackson every single time. So again, only time will tell for Josh Allen. Who are they going to hire in Buffalo? Who knows? So, that game was a disaster. Just like how it was a disaster for the 49ers last Saturday. The Seahawks just walked all over them. So, Seattle well deserved to be in the NFC Conference Championship game. And as far as the Sunday games were concerned, CJ Stroud, I think his NFL story is over at this point. Patriots, they had fun in the snow and they won. As far as Sunday night game was concerned, it could have went either way between Chicago and Los Angeles, but Chicago came from behind again. It was a close game, but in overtime, Caleb Williams made the worst mistake you could. throwing the ball like that and then getting picked off, and then Rams won on a walk-off field goal. So, as far as the games for tomorrow are concerned, I can't believe Bo Nix had an injury. Isn't that crazy? His ankle got hurt? That's crazy. I'm just like, wow. His right ankle got injured after the game. So now the Broncos have to rely on Jarrett Stidham. I don't know. So I'll make my predictions for tomorrow's games and who I think will go to the Super Bowl before we get into the pop culture stuff. Now, for the lines I'm looking at it right here. Patriots, Broncos, New England, a 4.5 favorite. I'm going to say it. I think New England's going to win. I mean, Drake May has like the easiest path to the Super Bowl. Think about that. You beat the Chargers. And think about it. That could have went either way. You beat the Texans that look pathetic. And that's why they're saying they have this Mickey Mouse path to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to say it. I think New England will win tomorrow. I don't see Denver winning. Not with a backup QB. No. Give me New England 4.5 tomorrow. And then the NFC game. I think it will be close. I think you'll get a lot from Matthew Stafford. You'll get a lot of Sam Darnold on tomorrow night. But in the end, I like Seattle. They're at home. I think it'll be really fun to see Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. So give me 2.5. I think it will be Seattle, New England, Super Bowl in San Francisco. Could be wrong here, but that's where I see this going. So those are my thoughts on the Mets. Those are my thoughts on what happened with the football. And we end it from there. So, to wrap up this episode this week, we got the sports out of the way. All taken care of. You all heard me say what I had to say about the baseball and the football. Now we get into the pop culture stuff to wrap up this week's episode. Now, let me be very clear on why we're going to do my Grammy predictions this week. As you know, next week, and I mentioned it as we started, and I'll recap it again, next week will be my WWE Royal Rumble prediction, so there's not going to be enough time to get on whatever Saturday episode taped, so we will be back here February 7th, and I'll give a reaction to the Grammys. So I will get into my Grammy predictions in just a second. I want to go over first the Academy Award nominations, and I will predict the Oscars on March 14th. So that will be a Saturday, and we will do a pre-Oscar Sunday special episode of whenever Saturday. I promise I will do it. So anyhow, let's get into the history for this horror film. Like, it's kind of considered a horror film, dark horror, whatever it's called. I don't know, but history was made for the movie Sinners. 16 nominations. It surpasses the previous record holders of About Even 1950, Titanic 1997, and La La Land 2016. So, some of these movies were pretty interesting this year. So, obviously, with Sinners, it's Michael B. Jordan. Now, Michael is a very professional actor. I've had a lot of respect for him. I've seen him in the Creed films, playing Adonis Creed, Apollo Creed's son in the Rocky film franchise. So, Michael is a professional stud. I've said a lot of good things about Michael. I've said one day he would be worthy of an Oscar film. And so far, that hard work and determination is paying off for Michael. So 16 nominations overall for this film. It's considered the leading film, right? No, there's another film that stars Leonardo DiCaprio called One Battle After another horror film. So Leonardo DiCaprio stars in this one. Now, the underdog story that might be a surprise, because sometimes you'll have films that surprises us. I mean, that one year where La La Land was supposed to win Best Picture, and it didn't. There was that other movie, Whiplash, that was supposed to win and didn't. So there have been years where favorite films lose. Keep an eye on this film. Marnie Supreme with Timothée Chalamet. Keep an eye on it. It could be the underdog film. Let me obviously do the March 14th episode. I will make predictions on certain I'm not going to go over each and every one, but like the main categories like picture, director, writing, screenplay, actor, actress. And I'll even predict the animated film because I already have one in mind. I'm not going to spoil it, but I just wanted to get into the impressive stuff that I've been seeing. Just some early stuff. Begonia, another film to keep an eye on. This is one with Emma Stone. She plays this bald lady, right? Begonia. It's a black comedy film, right? Now, I think Emma Stone was also nominated for another film last year. Another dark film. I mean, lately Emma Stone's been playing a lot of these dark films lately. You know, La La Land was a musical a decade ago. And trust me, I have La La Land on Blu-ray, but I think it's in my attic. Like, I don't want to rewatch La La Land. I mean, I've already watched Whiplash in the last decade. So I'm intrigued by some of these movies. They look pretty good on paper, okay? The F1 film, another film, Brad Pitt got snubbed for Best Actor. That's one thing I want to acknowledge. So, I don't know why he was snubbed. Another thing to keep an eye on, and tonight, this is going to be very important, the Best Supporting Actress category. I believe Tiana Taylor might have it, but Ellie Fanning got nominated for Sentimental Value, another film. So I'll make my predictions, but the reason why you should keep an eye on Tiana, tonight, she's actually hosting Saturday Night Live. So you might want to keep an eye on her opening monologue tonight. The Academy might be watching that. They might base it on that. Who knows? So yeah, I just want to quickly go over the snubs, right? So I thought Brad Pitt would be nominated for Best Actor. He got snubbed, which surprised me. Another thing that really surprised me were two other things before I make my Grammy predictions to wrap up this episode. The obvious was Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. Everybody thought they were going to be nominated. Apparently, the Academy wasn't impressed with the sequel from what I was told. It was for consideration, but they were like, you know what? There's not enough ground to give it a nomination. And you know what? This is good for Ariana. You know why this is good for Ariana? Think about it. She has a tour coming up. So it's like, why would you want to go to another award show when you could have more time to prepare for, what, your first tour in a decade? So for Ariana, she should be very grateful that she didn't get the nomination, because she could be in front of all these live audiences performing and being happy and finally doing what she loves, and that's her real passion, and that's singing. So, come on, those tickets are expensive. I give anything. You know where I wish I could see Ariana Grande? And I've been thinking about it a lot. The iHeartRadio Festival in Vegas. See, that's where I'd want to see her. Because I haven't been to Vegas in 20 years. Like, if they announced the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, like, she's there, I would want to see Ariana in Vegas. You know, I want to see, like, how Vegas has changed in, like, the past 2 decades. Because obviously they got In-N-Out Burger. When I go to the buffet every day, probably not. I mean, they They actually have less buffets in Vegas now. So, I don't know. They do got Golden Corral, though. See, Golden Corral was in Las Vegas. Go figure that out. So, I don't know. I mean, to go to Vegas, experience Vegas for like the first time in a decade, who knows? Maybe I can go see Fernando Mendoza play at Allegiant Stadium while I'm there. See, that would be great. See, if I won that, and I wanted to see Fernando play with the Raiders that weekend, if somehow it works out, I'd stay in Vegas for an extra day. So I'm off topic, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the Academy Awards. One more thing. Jeremy Allen White got snubbed for Springsteen, Deliver Me for Nowhere. People were complaining about Sydney Sweeney. Look, at the end of the day, I know people thought this Chrissy movie would get all the hype. And it did get good reviews, but not enough for the Academy to give her that. So, and I'll say this. You will see Sydney Sweeney nominated for an Oscar one day. I'm calling it. I said to myself, over the years, Michael B. Jordan is so damn talented. He has to get nominated for an Oscar one day. And I was right about that, and this is his year. So who knows? Maybe Sydney Sweeney could be next in a couple years. We'll see. So anyhow, those are my thoughts again on the early thoughts of the 98th Academy Awards. Again, I'll go more into the movies when we get into March, because I want to focus now more on the Grammys. So, the Grammys are coming up on February 1st. So this will be the last Grammys to be televised on CBS as of next year. They will be going to ABC. So, Trevor Noah will be hosting for the 6th consecutive time. I mean, Trevor does do a good job hosting this. I mean, I would want to see a real musician host one year. Who knows? Maybe next year when they move to ABC, they might. Who knows? We'll see. As far as who got the most nominations, it was Kendrick Lamar. He has a total of 9 nominations. I'm trying to find out how many nominations does Sabrina Carpenter have? I'm trying to find out because everybody else is going to be focused on her. I can't get the exact number, but they say Kendrick Lamar has 9 nominations. Okay. So, as of now, here are the performers listed for the Grammys. We know Sabrina Carpenter has obviously been has been announced as a performer. I'm just trying to find out who is the best, the new artist. There's going to be like these new artists that will be performing together. So you'll have all the new artists. Here's a list of them, right? There's a melody of Addison Rae, Alex Warren, Cat's Eye, Leon Thomas, Lola Young, Olivia Dean, Somber, and the Marias doing this Best New Artist melody next Sunday. If I'm missing something in this video, please let me know in the description, in the comments. Clips and Pharrell Williams are the other confirmed performers as of now. Look, I'll just be honest with you. As of now, here are my predictions in the general categories. Let's just get the rap out of the way. I want to get the rap music out of the way. So if I'm going to find it, there should be a generalized rap category. It's going to be Kendrick Lamar's year. All right? I mean, it's Kendrick Lamar's year in terms of, here it is, best rap performance. So obviously, I'm going to go with TV Off by Kendrick Lamar. He will get the best rap performance. Best melodic rap performance. That will obviously go to Kendrick Lamar too. He should win for Lucifer. SZA should get an award for that. So SZA was nominated for that. In terms of the best rap song, Kendrick will win that too. Everybody's excited. Oh, Doechie's back. Who knows? Doechii, listen, Doechii could make a surprise. Because she did last year. So keep an eye on Doechii. Because Anxiety was nominated. Same in the best rap performance category. And then here's something interesting. We just talked about Tiana Taylor. She's also nominated at the Grammys for Best R&B Album Escape Room. But that's going to be Leon Thomas's thing. I'm just like that. All right. Now, in the Best New Artist category, and we talked about right around my birthday, I was so upset that this artist, Cat's Eye. Who is Cat's Eye? They're this band. Why did they deserve to get nominated? This should have been Alex Warren. I mean, Alex Warren had Ordinary, and you don't... Oh, wait, here he is. Alex is right here. What am I saying? So Alex wasn't snubbed. Okay. You know what I was thinking? Yeah, Song of the Year. That's where he got snubbed. So I'm like, I don't see Ordinary on this list. No. No, he's not. No. As far as... Yeah, so let me make some predictions here. So, Best New Artist, it is going to go to Alex Warren. He will win. Just for participation purposes, we will put him down. As far as the other categories, let me just organize them. So, Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year. I think it will go to Sabrina Carpenter. You know, I think there's a lot of momentum for her right now, given that she has just released back-to-back albums with Short and Sweet in 2024, Man's Best Friend last year. I would think the momentum is high on Sabrina right now. There is just too much. Also, given the fact that she is doing a Super Bowl commercial for Pringles on February 8th. It was also announced in England that she will be... and I'll actually do some Brit predictions at the end of next month. So we will do that. So she got 2 nominations overseas in England recently for the Brits. And I will just mention this. If you're going to Manchester... stay safe out there. Manchester has a lot of crime. I've seen some videos on it. And I was like, oh, so they're moving the Brits to Manchester? They might regret that. Especially in Piccadilly Park. I will mention, Piccadilly Park used to be this beautiful place a long time ago. Don't go there. But yeah, back on topic. Sabrina will win for the following categories. She will win Record of the Year for Man-Child. She will win Album of the Year for Man's Best Friend. And she will win for Song of the Year, Man-Child. A lot of good, strong things this year. Don't get me wrong. Now, Golden could make a surprise from the K-pop Demon Hunters. They might steal Song of the Year away from Sabrina. They might. Don't be surprised if they do. Okay? So Sabrina might only get 2 awards like she did last year. That would make her a 4-time Grammy Award winner. She gets 5. I mean, hey. It's like the 5 golden rings. And then think about it. It'll be Groundhog Day for her all over again. Sonny and Cher will probably be her wake-up song the next morning. I'm sorry. I had to go there. If you... Trust me. Jack Antonoff is her friend. Margaret Qualley is her friend. I had to make that reference about Andy McDowell. I had to say it. Okay. Yeah, so anything else that needs to be predicted? Best pop solo performance. See, Sabrina could win that one too. Okay. Best pop duo group performance. I will go with Golden. Best pop vocal album. That could be something else Sabrina could win. So she might win 6 or 7. She might win 6 or... Yeah, maybe. Right? I don't know. So anyhow. Best pop vocal album. Probably Sabrina could win that one. Best Dance Electric Album. You know, I'm going to say Pink Panthers has that one locked up. That song Illegal was like trending last year. Okay, again. Right, we already predict Golden for the Best Pop Duo. Best Dance Pop Recording. I think that will go to Lady Gaga. Abracadabra deserves that one in that category. Right? So, yes. So that's where I will do that one. You know, I want to go into the R&B category. Because R&B had a lot of good, strong stuff. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. And a lot of people will not see this coming. Kalani. Now, why am I saying Folded will win? If you remember back in 2020, right during the worst days of the COVID pandemic, and this is a true story. Back in 2020, and she had this big song in 2020. It was called, I'm trying to find it. Good Thing. I think that was the name of the song. Good Thing. I'm going to Google it right now. Yeah, it was Kalani and Sed. Now remember, Sed, before he made that song, remember, that song was trending. March 2020. Big thing. So 5 years later, Kalani makes this big R&B hit called Fold It. And I believe she's going to win the R&B performance. So there's that. And she'll probably win Best R&B Song unless... Is Mutt by Leon Thomas nominated? Oh, wow. Okay. So Leon Thomas was nominated for Yes It Is. Okay, because I'm like, why wasn't Mutt nominated? Mutt was a huge song this year. Weird, right? Country. How am I going to look at that category? I take a hard pass because I'm not really impressed this year. So I'm not seeing Lainey Wilson, so I can't really say that much on the country category, I guess. She is nominated somewhere over Laredo. So she might win that one for the solo performance, but like, I don't see Lainey Wilson anywhere else here. So, Merit Awards. Pharrell will win the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Lifetime Achievement Awards will go to Carlos Santana, Shaka Khan, Cher, Paul Simon, and the late Whitney Houston. So, oh, here we go. Here are the nominations. I'm like, what? Here they are. Right, so Sabrina was nominated for 6 categories this year. The Super Bowl halftime performer Bad Bunny got 6 nominations. Producer Jack Antonoff, who was best known for producing hit songs with Taylor Swift, leading the group Fun, and of course the lead men of the alt-rock band Bleachers, 7 nominations. Lady Gaga, who will likely get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame one day, which I think she's definitely capable of that. 7 nominations. Kendrick Lamar, again, has 9 nominations, so I do have the list right here. Justin Bieber has 4 nominations. Songwriter Amy Allen has 4 nominations. Doechii has 5 nominations. SZA has 5 nominations. So there's that to look forward to. So there are my thoughts on the Grammys. I'll go over the winners on the February 7th episode of Whenever Saturday. So, that being all said, thank you all very much for watching. So please stay safe during the winter storm if you are impacted by it. As I said, tonight we got WWE main event on Peacock. And I teased it earlier. UFC is on Paramount Plus tonight, 9 o'clock. So no pay-per-view models anymore, thank goodness, because that was killing their whole product. So that's it, guys. We'll have an Andy Plays for you tomorrow. So we will be back with our next episode on Saturday, February 7th, going over the Grammys, and I will preview the Super Bowl. So until the next one, please take care.